Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome.
Hi, Amy.
That's all right.
We have Deb, Elliot. Nice to see you, Elliot, or at least to see your cute screensaver. Wade,
Hi,
I
Elena.
like your screensaver.
Oh, yes.
Or your, well, I don't know what that is called, or whatever picture that was. And we have Anna and Jennifer, Francine, Joanne. Welcome, everyone. It's a beautiful, beautiful day here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Go ahead and write in the chat where you are and if the sun is out. If you make it into the room, if you don't mind adding in the chat, where, oh, sunny Cincinnati, sunny Georgia, sunny California. What is happening? Oh, well, the sun is above the clouds in Portland, where it usually is, I think, right? Oh, beautiful. The yellow trees smolder in the sunlight. Go, Deb, go. Alrighty, everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and get us started while we keep allowing folks to come into the room. I'm Stacy Sims, Executive Director of The Well, and I'm joined by...
I'm Bryce Kessler, Director of Music and Arts here at The Well.
I'm Patrick Renessis. I am event coordinator at The Well.
So, and Patrick is our newest full-time employee. He was with us part-time, and we're super excited to have him here full-time. So Mindful Poetry Moments is one of our favorite offerings, and the way these gatherings work is that we begin with a mindful meditation to just get us in the room together. I'm going to do that today. And then we turn it over to one of our poet friends to present a poem, to read it, to talk about what they love about it, and to offer us glimpses into ways to think about the poem. And then we get a writing prompt and we spend time writing. And then we come back and do a share. You don't have to share, but you can raise your hand if you want to share your work. And we capture any of those that you want us to put on our blog and the Well, so they live together as a community of poems that come out of our community gathering. And we do a really nice job of packing this hour with a bunch of beauty and grace, and then we wrap it up right at 4. So one note for those of you who may be newer to the group, that we do this once a month, several months of the year, and then we do it weekly in April for Poetry Month. You'll get plenty more information about that as we move into the future. So in a minute, I'm going to turn it over to Elena Estella Green to talk about the poem that's being presented today. The poem being presented today was chosen by Elena, and the poem is You Begin by Margaret Atwood. Our dear Elena is a Cincinnati poet originally from New York City, and she was one of our fellows last year, one of our Wellspring fellows last year at the Well. She's just a beautiful human and a gorgeous poet. So we'll turn it over to Elena in a minute. But for now, I'm going to take us into a guided meditation to help us become more present to the moment and each other. So the title of the poem is a compelling way to start a meditation, I think. You begin. So before you even close your eyes, look down at your body. Would you be able to say or see where you begin? Do you begin at your skin? Do you begin at your feet? Do you begin at your mind? Maybe even if your eyes are closed now, you can start getting into your internal space whenever you like. Do a little bit of movement. Move your fingers, move your shoulders. Even if we don't know exactly where we begin, we know that we exist in the moment often because we start to slow down and sense and feel ourselves in the moment. So take your gestures, your little movements, and start to slow them down. And see if you can experience yourself still, but vibrant. See if you can feel in your own soma, your own body, your sense of being, the sense of anticipation for what is about to begin. If your thoughts are swirling about, just observe them as eager dust to figure things out. And begin to settle into your breath. The inhale is the yes. The exhale is the now. Inhale, yes. Exhale, now. Repeat that sequence, yes and now, for 5 more breaths. Yes, now. Before we turn this back over to Elena, go back to that first notion of where do you begin? Ask your body, where do I begin? Where do I begin? Rub your palms together. Bring them to your face, covering your eyes. And give yourself a massage or a moment, a transition between this internal place of reverence before opening our eyes to our communal place of reverence. And I invite you to write in the chat if something came up for you as a signal from your body. Just finish the sentence. I begin, ... Where do you begin? Are you writing? I begin. Beautiful. So now we introduce live and in person on our Zoom, Elena Estella Green. Elena.
Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm so happy to be with you all. Thank you, Stacy, and for that wonderful meditation. And I begin at the beginning is my sentence. And I'm happy to present this poem, You Begin by Margaret Atwood. She's world famous for her dystopian novel, A Handmaid's Tale, which is ever so relevant in these days and times. But she is also an exceptional poet. She wrote this poem in 1978, and it's just become one of my top 10 poems. And it's a very childlike poem. It's almost like the narrator is talking to a small child who is drawing. And I became very aware that this poem spoke to me because there was a point in my childhood where I didn't think I was real. And then I was washing my hands, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, I think I'm real. And what was even scarier was that the world was real and I had to deal with it or make friends with the world, is what I say now. So let me see if I left anything out. What I want to do in the beginning, if you have a pen and paper on hand, is, I want to be as childlike as possible because it really brings out the true self. And what I did is I drew a weird outline of my hands. And what I want you to do when I read the poem is to write 5 words that resonate with you in the poem. Just write them down. You can make a circle too, or you could just list the words, but I just thought in the spirit of the poem, I would make a drawing. And let me put that in the chat.
So Elena, just so I'm a rule follower.
Yes, ma'am.
So one option is to draw our hand and write the words in our fingers.
In your fingers, in your palm, wherever it strikes you.
Okay, got it.
Or if you're making a circle within the circle.
Got it, thank you.
You're welcome. And with that being said, I love seeing all the familiar and new faces here today. And Bryce, if you want to post the poem, I'll start reading it. Thank you. Okay. You Begin by Margaret Atwood. You begin this way. This is your hand. This is your eye. That is a fish, blue and flat on the paper, almost the shape of an eye. This is your mouth. This is an O or a moon, whichever you like. This is yellow. Outside the window is the rain, green because it is summer. And beyond that, the trees, and then the world, which is round and has only the colors of these 9 crayons. This is the world, which is fuller and more difficult to learn than I have said. You are right to smudge it that way, with the red and then the orange. The world burns. Once you have learned these words, you will learn that there are more words than you can ever learn. The word hand floats above your hand like a small cloud over a lake. The word hand anchors your hand to this table. Your hand is a warm stone I hold between 2 words. This is your hand. These are my hands. This is the world, which is round but not flat and has more colors than we can see. It begins. It has an end. This is what you will come back to. This is your hand. Thank you. Did you get a chance to write down some words? Oh, good. And before we start the poetry prompt, does anyone want to just say some of the words they came up with? You can just say them out.
Pain, attachment, love, smudge,
Fuller,
moon, crayons,
Floats,
anchor,
I had the word warm. Thank you very much. Those are all very wonderful words. And now we're going to anchor these words by our poetry prompt and writing. I invite you to write. I'll read the poetry prompt. I invite you to craft a poem using the 5 words in your hand, your circle. A suggestion is use them to express your senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, like the 5 fingers in our hands. You can start your poem with "you begin," "I begin," or "this is," or as Stacy stated, "where do I begin?" Let me post that in the chat. And as always, you can follow your muse.
So we'll go ahead and we'll put the poem back up in case you'd like to see it while you're writing. And I'm going to set a timer for 12 minutes. So we have 12 minutes of writing time. So we'll come back after our writing time.
Sounds wonderful. Have fun. That's the most important thing. Have fun.
All right, if you want to wrap up what you're writing and come back to the circle. I will hand it over to Elena to begin picking people to share. If you would like to share, you can use the hand raising reactions at the bottom of your Zoom screen, or you can raise your hand on your camera and we'll pick you.
Thank you, Bryce. Welcome back. I hope that was nice for you. Brought up some creative juices. I know it did mine. I just wanted to share some of the words on the chat. People shared moon, is it Katrin? Moon, round, smudge, cloud, begins. And then Elliot had moon, yellow, world, learn, and hand. All good ones. And let's see, we have some hands up. Yes. So we have Sarah first. Would you like to share?
Thank you. Yes, and actually Stephen's here with me and he also wants to share. I don't know how you want to order that.
We could do a tandem.
Okay. Okay, thank you for your gorgeous leading. I was so excited to be in space with you. I've known you for 3.5 years now. There was a time when I separated from my body and became only my consciousness. I'd been living everywhere from Chicago to Beijing. Tumblr and then WeChat had connected me to a family across 5 countries. Via WhatsApp, I had a lover in Beirut and a love in Mexico. My eyeballs and my skin connected me to a series of lovers in my bed, at the jazz festival, at the art fair, at my dinner table. All took up comparable brain space, heart space. And then suddenly I couldn't remember how I was connected to my body. I was simultaneously, passionately linked to many souls in many lands on this planet. Did it matter what land tethered my legs, really? And how to tend to those legs, to nourish them with calories and vitamins, to strengthen them with long walks and squats that took valuable time away from the timelessness that was my pulsing web of connections, my globe, my heart, my world. Thank you.
That was just gorgeous, Sarah. Gorgeous.
Thank you.
And now we have Stephen.
Yeah, I wrote something very quick, very small, but I'll read. You begin this way. This is your hefty head. Those are your funky feet. Scratch your arms and everything you can reach. You begin this way. This is your chocolate skin. Close your eyes so you can see your beginning. It has no end.
That's wonderful. I love that. Very tactile poem. It's great.
Thank you.
We have the lovely Zaray.
Hi, everybody. It's my first time being here. So I used my 5 words: way, paper, hand, rain, and anchor. I begin the way, a way not known to me. Don't know where it will take me. I begin on paper, using my hand, letting my heart guide it, steering the words, string the words. I begin by letting the words become raindrops, by letting the road guide me. Or is it that I guide the road? A road on which I feel the rain, the smell of soaked earth, of tears and pain. A sensation telling me I'm real. There I go on a road smooth like the skin and sometimes rough as a stormy ocean. There I go anchored in the belief I can walk this road in small beauties. Thank you.
Beautiful. I love or is it that I guide the road? I think that's the first time I've heard that. It's beautiful. Thank you. And now we have, tell me how to say your name, darling. Katrine?
Katrin, yes. Thank you, Elena. Thank you all. Let me figure out how to lower my hand. All right, cool. I'm gonna just read the poem. As Elena mentioned, my 5 words were moon, round, smudge, cloud, begins. Also, Elena, thank you so much for the invitation to do the hand thing. That was very fun. I appreciate the tactileness. Okay. This poem begins with the moon, softer than a cloud in the deep blue sky, more round than you thought possible, a perfect disk from any vantage point. The day begins with this soft smudge, retiring. The moon ends with the beginning. The moon is the mirror bathed in sunlight, and this poem, reflected light of my heart. This poem is always writing itself, always spinning around the weight of me, its earth, and yet also me, its sun. I contain multitudes. I contain stardust. I am as much the moon as I am this poem. This poem is me and the moon and the smudge in the sky, the view from down here of way, way, way up there. We are all encircling, we, the round moon, the soft cloud, the sky, the smudge, the beginning that is the ending, that is the beginning again. As we spin, we begin to begin. This poem is a ball in my hand, round as the moon, a smudge in the sky as it arcs to circle the earth, light as a cloud. It begins. Thank you.
That just blew me away. You wrote that just now, girl? Oh my goodness. It's great.
Thank you so much.
There's so much in there. So much. Just trying to find the one. They're going so fast, I can't read them. This poem is a ball in my hand. I love that. Someone always is catching it. Thank you. We have the famous Wade Hopkins next.
Oh my God, Margaret Atwood. I think I carried Cat's Eye around in my backpack for 4 or 5 years. And that book is just in my head. Anyhow, this is Stone. Most mistaken compatriot of the spiral arm. Certain stone is poised for movement, ready to pounce. Other stone determined to remain in place. Yet all stone is moving, my perspective simply irrelevant to stone. Regardless of stone's indifference, my heart is pledged
In a minute here, it's like, wow. Okay, we have up next is Jennifer Haynes. Can you hear me, Jennifer? Did she go away?
Yes. Nope, I'm here. I was trying to lower my hand. Okay. Transparency. You begin within an opal moon. This moon windows our world. Unexpected. We are all unexpected. Smudge us together into sensory fragments. Your eye sees a hill meadow of hazelnut, a Gulf Stream of tulips. Your tongue tastes pine resin, the grapefruit and coffee of tomorrow. Your ear hears Llorona calls, or those of titwillows. Your nose smells the gingerbread, kugel, mama amul, your grandmother bakes. Your fingers touch my love.
Another one. I really heard all the senses come out in your poem, you know, and I think that's such a great way to express, not only with words, but with senses and emotions, they all come out. And what did I write? I wrote, can't find it now, but it's great. Thank you so much. And we have Janice.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. I wrote down my 5 words, which were more, learn, word, small, and back. And I wrote like a short thing, so I'll just read that. And it says, "This is uncertainty, my closest beginning. This is effervescence. My words perspire, small anchors back to sense of autumn. Dipped in learning, I'm a name, and I'm an experience to a self, but once I didn't know her well." And that's my piece. Thank you.
Much. I am a name and I am an experience. Wonderful.
Thank you.
And now we have my friend Maureen Medina, coming from Lisbon, I believe.
Hi. Everyone's been amazing, and I think it's a testament to how you hold space, Elena. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I went a little different route, but it's very short. You begin with your hand. Your hand is your heart, telling you when safety is within reach. You grasp a thing you do not know, only knowing that you want more of it. More, more, more. You reach out with your heart. Your heart is your hand. You begin. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maureen. Wow. Very powerful. Breathe that in. Breathing in all the yeses I'm hearing today. Up next, we have the wonderful Patrick, who's a staff member at the Well.
Hello? Can you hear me?
You're echoing, but we hear you twice.
Okay, this one's called The Start. Your hand begins at mine, beginning hands wrapped and shook, becoming entwined and meshed, smudged skin, clasping for something like itself. You begin at the quick word, words like you and I and us, and you couldn't hear anything else. You lean over and mix those words, our names, and jammed all against one another. But you thought I began. You could taste it in the air, like rain we've began. At all other times, our beginning moves with the wind and heat, and mouths clamoring in thirst. Before we began, this started already.
Thank you, Patrick. Before you begin, we started already. Wow. I love that. And then we have the lovely Amy Hunkler next.
Thank you, Elena. I appreciate this is wonderful. Mine is kind of very, very rough. So where do I begin? I begin and I end. Beyond, but also beyond these alone spaces, now interspersed with layers of sticky sap, missiles of sounds of maple seeds shuddering the air as they spiral to the ground. My smudged vision, intent on seeing, sometimes excluding the rustle of autumn leaves, melding the inside rustle and bristle of my thoughts to a confining, confusing cacophony. And I smell fun scents of black walnuts drying out and cold colors of pond water, spring-fed and then blue mountain, and the holes of the black walnuts crushed beneath my wobbly stance, boots gooey with the green and the black guts of the soft outer shell, my toes stinging with curled anticipation and unbalanced reverie. The pungent taste of orange and unripe persimmons. Now the cold water is encasing me as I swim in that mountain pond. The shock, my eyebrows top fear, my back arches. How much cold can I take? So I return to this false limit of my memory, the autumn senses, and go beyond. Every time I shower to the last breath, the stab of my inner fear, and it replaces it with the boundless, pure, and awakened senses.
Thank you. That's a great stream of consciousness poem. Just came out of you with that. Boy, beautiful. Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Holly Bryans Ragusa.
My gosh, what an intro. Elena, I love that you begin at the beginning. Thank you for these beginnings today. That's wonderful. I did a little bit of my muse. Life begins at this moment and the last, and the ones we count and discount. Life begins in the endings and beginnings and the interiority of ourselves, pressed down or expressed. Life began in a windowsill where this child attached a heartstring to the moon from earliest memory and lashes herself there still with wrinkled edges and aches unknown by a younger self. With new and differing views, this moon gazer has phases of awareness, seasons of pain, stabbed with compassion, involuntarily pulled under its weight, felt in the anguish of all human hearts. Seasons of love, grown beneath trees, within pages of someone else's story, in the smiles felt across rooms and in private spaces. Life begins in beginnings and endings, though life and death begins in awareness. Before we are born, framed, timed, or encapsulated, we are otherworldly beings hanging in someone's sky, a sliver of our next beginning.
Thank you, Holly. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. And we have a couple more people.
I would like to read, and then I'll talk about what happens next. And then, Elena, you can read the poem for us to end our time together. How about that?
It sounds lovely.
Okay. My poem is called Where Do I Begin? I smudged my own forehead with the burnt ember of my mother's cigarette. I yearned for the Ash Wednesday experience, to make a God's eye out of popsicle sticks and yarn, to read Bible stories. We never stayed up late, never gazed at the moon. So the sense-making and poetry of waxing, waning, new, harvest blue, that was not in our spiritual vocabulary. Instead, we floated by on silence and good manners, longing for praise, worship. These stones got heavy later. I almost drowned with the weight of this lonely, learned isolation. I traded the stones for God in 12 easy steps in a church basement where I began again. All right, everyone. We are very, very grateful to all of you for being here. You're going to get an email from Bryce, which is going to just give you the recording of our time together, as well as to invite you to share. Please share these poems. I want to read them all slowly and repeatedly. So if you share them, we'll put them in a blog post dedicated to this time together with Elena. We're on hiatus through January. We start again in January, so we're not meeting in December. And in January, on January 17th, we are being treated to the poem Wondrous by Sarah Fraley, and Ellen Austin Lee, one of our new mindful poetry friends, is going to lead that session. Anything else I'm forgetting?
I don't think so.
So, Elena, it was just lovely. It's such a great poem. The prompt was like so like both simple and allowed for these complexities. Love you all. We're going to let Elena read us out.
Thank you. And my heart is so full. Thank you for embracing this poem and the prompts and incorporating the senses and just playing along with me. So thank you. You Begin by Margaret Atwood. You begin this way. This is your hand. This is your eye. That is a fish, blue and flat on the paper, almost the shape of an eye. This is your mouth. This is an O or a moon, whichever you like. This is yellow. Outside the window is the rain, green because it's summer, and beyond that the trees and then the world, which is round and has only the colors of these 9 crayons. This is the world which is fuller and more difficult to learn than I have said. You are right to smudge it that way. With the red and then the orange, the world burns. Once you have learned these words, you will learn that there are more words than you can ever learn. The word hand floats above your hand like a small cloud over a lake. The word hand anchors your hand to this table. Your hand is a warm stone I hold between 2 words. This is your hand. These are my hands. This is the world, which is round but not flat and has more colors than we can see. It begins, it has an end. This is what you will come back to. This is your hand. Thank you, everyone. I'm so grateful for your company here today, and hopefully we'll see you in January. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you in January and we'll be in touch. Have a wonderful Wednesday.
Thank you. Grateful for you all.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you, everyone.
Love you, Elena.
Mwah, mwah. See you.